1, 2, test. 1, 2, test. This is just a test. The board meeting will start at 5:30.
thank you for attending our board meeting. It is 6:08. Please rise to salute our flag. Count of three, 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to America, United States of, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. The board went into executive session prior to this, starting our meeting today. No action was taken. However, we will be voting on the superintendent's evaluation later in the meeting. Without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to our fearless leader, Dr. Tanja Williams.
We are very privileged tonight. We have one board recognition, and it is from Andrew Lorb, who is with us this evening from Erie One BoCES. And he would like to present something based on the Claude and Weta Clapp Hamlin Park Academy, school number 74, and the fourth graders who have been very committed to recycling. Mr. Lorb?
Thank you. Sorry about that. Yes, thank you for inviting me. Again, my name's Andrew Loeb. I'm a trustee with Erie One BoCES, and I represent the Western New York area on the New York State School Board Association for this Champions of Change Award. Every quarter, each member of the region in NYSBA, we get together and we review many submissions from all sorts of different school districts. And tonight, I wanted to present to the board and the fourth grade class at Hamlin School for their recycling program. It was a program where they got the youth involved in the class to think not only about the school itself, but about the whole nature of what's going on in the environment and with the recycling that's really needed to help the environment. There is a banner here in the district that I hope will get at least to the school to be presented to them. So thank you for inviting me tonight, and congratulations to the school and your school district on such a great program. So thank you.
Mr. Loeb, I'm the Ferry School District representative, and I want to thank you for acknowledging our school, Hamlin Park and Weta Clark Academy. But I want to share with you a story. So we were doing we had a student who was terminally ill who came back to school that day. And when I walked in the building, there was a bunch of stuff all in the front hallway. And I was like, we've got the news coming in here today. We've got to get this cleaned up. We can't have this here, you know, because it looked like it was just a bunch of stuff and everything was all there. And they shared with me that they were doing that recycling and that they would do it after lunch. And interesting enough, the news covered it that day as part of recycling or whatever. But the joke was on me because everyone was laughing at me because Ms. Cotman was trying to make sure everything looks real good for the school inside the school building because the news was there and they were doing something positive for our environment. So I want to thank you for acknowledging our students. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll now move into the superintendent's update. I thought it was a good time for an update to be provided to our school board and community on summer school and how summer school is going. And so we're going to hear from Ann Botticelli, who is our Chief Academic Officer, Darlene Jesenowski, who is our Chief of School Leadership, and Charlene Watson, who is one of our associate superintendents for high schools. So no longer is summer schooling about remediation, but there's a lot of work that went into planning this summer to make sure that it would also be a place that would be building cultural capital for our students and offering enrichment opportunities. So Chief Botticelli, will you start it? Is there a presentation?
There's one right behind you.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm thrilled to be here tonight to give you the update on our summer school progress. ESY has been going on for a couple weeks. High school recently began last week, and elementary school began last Monday. So just briefly, as a reminder, we have pre-K 6 summer sites. Those are hubs. The teachers went into training and set up their classrooms the 6th and 7th. Instruction began on the 10th, and it will conclude on the 11th, and then teachers will wrap it up. Our 7 and 8 sites are also hubbed. The teachers again went in the 6th and 7th for training and setup. Instruction began on the 10th, and it will conclude on the 11th. And then at our high school sites, also many of them are hubbed. Instruction actually didn't begin until the 12th because it goes a little bit longer with the Regents window of the 16th and 17th, and then teachers will score. Next slide, please. So I want to talk a little bit about our readiness since we're so early in the process. Staffing this year has been phenomenal. I want to thank everyone in CAI, everyone in HR, everyone who has helped to make sure we're on track. So right now, pre-K 6 and 7-8 are fully staffed, and at our high schools, we have minimal remaining vacancies. Right now, they're working to reconcile attendance and enrollment, and as we begin to remove students from the roles that are not actually planning to participate, we recognize that we may be able to make some adjustments. So hopefully the 2 or 3 positions that are not completely filled at this point will be taken care of. Materials were distributed, PD has been delivered. The curriculum is available to all the staff in the Schoology app. And there is a really terrific handbook this year and pertinent documents available in the Google folders for all the summer administrators. So they have access to the files as we go. Next slide, please. I'm going to turn this one over to Darlene.
Good evening, Dr. Williams and board members. Before students even arrived, we prepared at all the schools. First with the Evolve systems, and the Evolve systems have been deployed to all elementary schools except for school 19, and that was due to an electrical outlet that has to be installed. But the beauty of having the Evolve systems at those sites now is that it prepares the schools for September, so they can get the procedures in place and the practices in place prior to students coming to their schools in September. ASLs visited all the schools along with staff from central office to ensure that principals had everything that they needed. So we went over schedulings, we went over handbooks, we went over their introduction for staff so that they were ready. Principals were also asked to complete a survey if they needed anything. That was submitted to Ann's office, and then we provided any additional supports that they needed at the school level. I will now turn it back over to Ann.
Next slide, please. So these are some preliminary enrollment numbers. I did mention that sometimes students are registered, but the student is not planning to attend the program. So those students will be removed from the rolls as we go along and determine that they are not going to join us. We also have some students that have only registered for the exam itself, the Regents exam. They are not included in these numbers. However, this does include non-BPS students who reside in the city of Buffalo if they chose to attend the summer program. So right now we have almost 4,000 students in our high school program, 605 students in our 7 and 8, and close to 2,000 students in our elementary programs. We also have an additional 543 students enrolled in our ESY program. Those are housed at School 84, School 79, School 93, OTC, and day treatment. A little bit about our elementary program. So it's, as always, it's a math and reading focus, although we do offer other subjects like social studies and science. This year, the superintendent had a brilliant idea, and it's working out really well. We've hired Orton Gillingham trained teachers to target our first grade students. So they are doing pull out with all of the first graders that are enrolled in the program to make sure they are on track and ready to start second grade. We're also piloting an acceleration program. So similar to the way we run our algebra acceleration in 8th grade, we're piloting an English acceleration. So schools 89, 93, and 95 were able to invite some students to come to a 6th grade acceleration camp. So they're housed over at School 19, and they're working on 6th grade curriculum materials right now in preparation for the rollout next school year. So these students will cycle through, and by 8th grade, they'll be prepared to take the 9th grade English class and accrue a high school English credit. Assuming that this works well, we'll be able to move this to other schools as well. We are also privileged to have the Native American Resource Program staff pushing into classrooms this summer. So it began last year. They're coming back again this year. They will read stories with students and talk about cultural experiences, tribes in the area, really trying to broaden students' understanding of Native Americans in the Western New York area. So they spend 1 week at each of the summer school elementary sites and push into every classroom. And then we have additional enrichment activities like world languages, phys ed, art, music, STEAM activities. Every school is slightly different, but they're trying to really make sure the kids are engaged and want to come to school. So briefly, we continued the Earn While You Learn program with the mayor this year. All the high schools are participating, and we currently have 149 students enrolled in Earn While You Learn. Just in case anybody doesn't remember, these are students who did apply to the mayor's summer youth program itself and need to recover at minimum 2 high school courses. So those students are able to attend class and get paid through the mayor's summer youth program. So again, Earn While You Learn. And then we have a number of specialty programs. They're not all included here, but we thought we'd give you a couple quick highlights. So Se Levanta and Jumpstart is housed at School 45 this year. And I think you might have heard how enthusiastic Sarah Gunter is, the principal over at 45. She's really into this program. She had experienced it with Se Levanta when it was at School 30. So she's taken some pictures for us, and she's really working with the program and the multilingual department that structures the program and works on the curriculum. So the kids are really excited. They love coming to school every day. Right now, they're showcasing their All About Me projects, and they'll do some theme-based activities throughout the course of the summer. Another specialty program is our orchestra camp. This year it's housed right here at the Performing Arts Building. So it's open to students in grades 3 to 6 who have experience either through us or through other opportunities with orchestra. So you can see some pictures of the kids as they're working with their teachers. I was here on the opening day. The kids are extremely excited. Some of them were at camp last year, had a wonderful time. We're happy to be back. Other students are new to the program. And it's just been a very exciting opportunity. Marquita Bryant is running that program here at Arts. And then, as always, we have Michelle Augusto's Mural Mania Stage and Song and Woke Words programs taking place at School 76. This is open to older students, currently students entering grades 6 to 12. Right now, she has 55 students registered. They're working on proposals for their mural. You can see some of the themes that have come up. And they will be designing it themselves, painting it themselves, and it'll be showcased. And then every year they find a different location to house the mural, become its home. And I'm turning this one over to Ms. Watson.
Good evening, Dr. Williams and board members. As most of you know, CTE is my favorite program. And this summer we have the BEAM program, and it's at Buff State with 29 students. And students from all different high schools can participate. The culinary programs, we have 2, Emerson, and there are students also at Buffalo Culinary, and they are running the restaurants for breakfast and lunch. At Burgard High School, there are 100 students in the advanced manufacturing program, and these are students who are in either auto, machine tool, or welding, and they do academics in the morning and shop in the afternoon. 4 students are in the printing program at McKinley. The conservation program is both at McKinley and Riverside with 10 students, and the horticulture program at McKinley has 10 students, and the students were outside actually working this morning, pulling weeds and whatever they do with the dirt. And also at iPrep and McKinley is 12 students in the Urban Teacher Academy. And through our district partnership with Northland, and Rob Harris facilitated this piece, there are 100 students at Northland. And then there's a partnership with IT and AIS, and 30 students are working. And those students actually go into Buffalo Public Schools to work with computers. Questions? Thank you.
So again, the program just began recently. We wanted to give you a quick update. We did not showcase every opportunity that's available to our students. In fact, later in the summer, there is a band camp taking place at City Honors. So we're still taking enrollment for that. So if you know students that at the upper grades that want to participate, please let them know that they can still register. We have open seats in that program as well. If there are no questions.
I don't have any questions, but I want to thank you for putting these programs in place. Board Member Hurd, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. Just a question about the Northland workforce. You have 100 students, and I believe you had more last year. Was there a reason why there's a decline in that
Rob
program?
actually gave me a range. I'm not sure what the exact enrollment. He said between 100 and 150, so I would imagine that there's some fluctuation. But I can get you an exact number as of probably tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I do have a question. Why only 4 students in the printing program at McKinley?
I can speak with Mr. Harris. I know that they have a very targeted program this summer, and they're actually going to be working on some things for our administrator retreat later in the summer. So you'll get to see their handiwork and some of the materials you'll be taking home from the all admin meeting.
Okay, so I guess what I'm curious to know is, do we plan with a goal as far as the certain number of students for each one of these programs, or do we just go with whomever signs up? Because from my perspective, if the class needs to be a certain number, we're maximizing opportunity and staff participation for our students. When I see only 4, I'm wondering, and all the others have a minimum of 10 to 12 in their program. That stood out for me. That's why I asked that question.
I can get you more information on that.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Scott.
I don't have a question, but just wanted to share that I had the opportunity to visit with Chief Botticelli yesterday, Hillary Park Elementary, and today, Bilingual Center, School number 33. I get 2 buildings I haven't been to, hidden gems, just beautiful buildings. It was great to see the students there. Everybody was engaged. They were working on math, literacy, and I got to see firsthand the Native American Resource Program. I believe it was Sage Galasano,
Galasano. Mm-hmm.
Who was doing the instruction to a 1st grade class, I believe it was.
Oh, it might have been kindergarten.
Kindergarten, going into 1st grade. And then there was a reading specialist there that was delivering the Orton Gillingham. And I don't know if you saw this, Chief Botticelli, but the most excitement I saw were from those students in that program. Just, they were learning letter sounds, and they were just so excited when they got those letters correct, and were giving us fist bumps and high fives when they got them. And then the reading specialist said that just was very supportive and excited about the program and how effective it is with our students in those literacy gains. So saw it firsthand, and it's great to kind of see a full picture of all the programs that are happening this summer.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Hurd.
Yes, I had an in-depth conversation with Dr. Kathy Evans-Brown about the next step for our 7th to 8th graders. And just since you're here, I just want to ask the question pertaining to, if we have a child that's in 7th to 8th grade that may be taking a course in printing, or a course in culinary, or a course in, I see, in the other our programs, within the Buffalo schools, and they want to go there in high school. They like to attend high schools if they're showing respect for that course, or maybe it's something they might want to do in the future. What's the district doing to bridge that gap from the 7th to 8th grade to get those children to the courses that they're interested in?
Well, I guess it's a nuanced conversation because we don't offer most of those opportunities in 7th and 8th. We have technology and the FACS program, and so kids have some exposure. For example, they do some work with 3D printing through the WASED materials. But many of these specific programs would not be available to a 7th and 8th grader. However, through opportunities where our high school, like a high school head and that type of thing, where they're exposed to all the different programs that are available across the district, they can begin to narrow down and choose the focus they'd like to see at the high school level.
I was going to mention the WASED piece, but also we work closely with the mayor, and he has a Mayor Summer Youth program that offers almost like exploratory opportunities for students who may be interested in some of those areas to get a little bit of work experience in those areas and get a small stipend, get a small paycheck. So.
Answer a question about Orton. May I ask Ann about Orton Gillingham?
Sure.
Is it possible, in our last board package, you identified 3 schools, and I'm curious to know, is there a list of schools that have taken the Orton?
They've all taken it at the elementary level.
Okay,
like every
because-
school has had opportunity to send teachers.
Okay, so do you have the schools that have completed the program?
So, again, this is nuanced too. It'll never be complete because there's transfers and things like that. So a school may have trained their entire staff, and then within the transfer process or new hires, a couple people enter the building that aren't trained. So it'll never be completely done. However, we're very close to hitting the mark for our demographic, our target demographic. Once we know at the end of transfers and placement of the new teachers, once we know how many of them are in kindergarten or in first, for example, then we're offering more training opportunities to catch them up. We don't want any teacher who's in the demographic to be untrained.
So what do you mean, what demographic are you referring to?
Special ed, K-8, reading teachers, K-8, literacy coaches, K-8, first grade teachers, kindergarten teachers, ENL teachers. So
Okay,
we want them trained.
So do you have a percentage of how many of those have completed or anything? The only reason I'm asking is because last month in the package, there were 3 schools that were identified that were going to receive the training. I remember right, 50, and I know School 50 was one, I can't think, it was 2 others. And I was wondering if that's how they're being done, or were they being targeted for like a group of teachers or whatever. I just was curious.
They may have just coincidentally all enrolled from a particular building. So we've been putting them through the board, every teacher in the demographic we've been putting them through. But they may have had some teachers that signed up for a particular session at the same time. I'm not sure. We ran sessions all last year. We started in the prior year. We ran 2 sessions in June at the end of the school year. We have 2 more sessions in August. And then we'll begin doing embedded training and more Saturdays in the fall.
Okay, thank you for that. My only concern is that the students who are not reading or who are not performing, that those schools be targeted as well. So that's my reason for bringing that up. That's the only reason I brought it up, is that it just appears that there were certain schools that it was happening at. Not sure if it was happening at the higher need schools.
It's definitely across the board at every elementary. There might be a couple schools that have teachers that don't actually need to take the training. So for example, if they're teaching in Spanish at a bilingual classroom. So they might be technically part of the demographic, but we probably wouldn't target them. Some of the ENL teachers had to do some prerequisite work before they could take the courses, but most of them have gotten through that, and so they're beginning to take the Orton as well. But we don't want any teacher that fits the demographic to miss the training, so we are making sure that we have enough opportunities to get them all.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions, board members? Sherry Shuda.
I just wanted to make a comment. I have visited Southside Elementary 67 Discovery School in South Park, but my favorite place to visit in the summer is the CTE specialty programs, where I go over to Buffalo Culinary and Emerson for lunch or breakfast, or maybe both. So I just wanted anybody who has an opportunity, the kids are loving the program, they're doing a great job.
Thank you. Any other conversation? Okay, thank you. Superintendent,
you.
I think that was your update. I took over. Is that it?
That concludes my update. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Superintendent, and thank you, staff. We have 3 speakers listed. At this time, the board welcomes the speakers. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, the board welcomes speakers who have signed up to speak. Please be reminded that their speaker remarks must be limited to 3 minutes or less. We ask that the speakers be mindful that this is a business meeting open to the public and televised locally. Attendees and viewers include persons from throughout Western New York, including children. The board asks that speakers conduct themselves professionally and that their comments remain civil and courteous, bearing in mind that they will be heard by people of all ages. This is an opportunity for you, the residents of the Buffalo City, to address the Buffalo Board of Education about issues that serve the public interest and the district's mission, and the board asks that speakers demonstrate appropriate decorum. With that said, I welcome Janet Brady, parent, in regards to son's education. Is Janet Brady here? Okay, she is not. Next speaker is Mr. Ed Spadell, parent and commissary is this discussion. Followed by Jessica Bauer Walker, parent for food and nutrition.
Thank you. I just would ask the district that when they give a presentation on a subject, that they should wait until we know it's going to be approved. We're hearing that the commissary has some problems right now and it's struggling to move forward. So we want to make sure that it moves forward. And I'll say this, I'd like to say, the commissary is the one thing in the district that affects every single person. So we should make sure we find a way to move into this new building. The money we spent like at All High or the move Da Vinci don't affect every student, they affect a small portion. This is the one thing that we can give to every family, every teacher, every principal in the district. We can all have the opportunity to have better quality food. I have a second subject. My daughter is a graduate of Da Vinci in Duville, and she passed her boards, and now she accepted her first job. She's a registered nurse at Sisters Hospital now, so shout out to Buffalo Public Schools. We do have success stories, and hurrah to her. Thank you.
Next speaker, Jessica Bauer Walker. Welcome, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. Good evening. Wanted to just remind ourselves being here at the last board meeting where I was really touched by the shared humanity in the room for Darielle Reyes Rivera, and also noting that we've lost another student, Miracle Hunt. Just want to lift up every one of our students is so precious, and that we have to remind ourselves of that every day. And so just want to echo what Mr. Spidell said in terms of the issue around feeding our children, which seems like a really basic issue that we can do to show love and care and concern for our children. And so we would like to know as parents, I think most board members know, and I know I've talked to you about this as well, Dr. Williams, that food in school food is a hot topic and a real priority to students and parents. And so we would really like to know, this is an issue we've been talking about for a long time. I think I've been involved about 9 years with the need for a new food service building. So we would really like to know, what is the plan to ensure that we have a functional food service building? And what is the timeline for breaking ground and completion? Because now we're at a sense of urgency, because the lease on the building we have now expires in 2025, and if we don't start building soon, what are we gonna do? I don't know if any of y'all have been over to that building, but it's falling apart. It's in a state of real disrepair. So we had some conversation about this, but again, we wanna know, are we ready to break ground in September? Because the development company is. ECIDA recommended a $2 million investment last week, which is great in terms of this being an equity issue, a return on investment. The food service department generally is income generating, and my understanding is, the last time I looked at the numbers, they have a $39 million fund balance. So this is a great way to make an investment that will be sustainable for our children. We've done awesome work over the years with a farm to school program. We have 100 salad bars. Many of them are sitting in storage right now. We have a food truck. We have a breakfast program, actually used to deliver about 24,000 meals, now is only doing about 17,000. So there's some capacity issues that we're experiencing. And our food service department is ready to go. We have a really vibrant nutrition committee and community partners that are ready to go. We have local farmers. We're locally sourcing 30% of our food now from New York State farmers. That's awesome. We're rolling out culturally responsive foods and taste testing. We have a chef brigade that's coming in who's doing cook training. There's so much good stuff going on, but 25 of our schools don't even have full kitchens. These kids are eating processed foods and reheated foods. It's a huge equity issue. So please, if you can let us know if we can move this project forward and what the plan is, because parents, students, community partners, ECIDA, like we're ready to go. So let us know how we can help and what the timeline is here. Thanks so much.
I had to look at our board president and ask, is that it? I mean, we're used to having, a list of speakers, but certainly, we're always happy to hear from our parent leaders. So, Mr. Spidell, DPCC President Spidell, first of all, congratulations to your daughter. Let her know that the district is also always looking for good school nurses who may be BPS alumni, so she could always come and work in one of our schools as a nurse. Congratulations to you. And I'll lump together the remarks about the commissary because both you and Executive Director Bauer Walker spoke on the same topic. And what I want to assure you is that there has been no final decision as far as the commissary goes, but I will say that the board approved a budget this past May, and there is a 4-year plan that was created that's been shared publicly and with the board on finances for the district. So I am still in meetings. In fact, I had a meeting last week with our CFO and a gentleman, Mr. Gansey, and so he kind of shared, some outline and framework for some of the things that have to happen before we can just break ground. It is an expensive project. That does not mean that it is not a project that is worthy of our children. It's just that it is a very costly project, and one of the first things that he shared has to happen is that we have to get New York State Education Department's approval to begin to move forward. So that will be a part of the plan. There needs to be a plan as you both, you're asking, what is the plan? Where is the plan? That's kind of where we are in those stages of trying to expeditiously look at the finances and look at working with NYSED on getting a plan to see if this is something that we can move forward. So more to come on that. That's it.
Thank you. Let's see. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes from May the 17th, 2023 and June the 21, 2023 board meeting? Mr. Hurd, second by Cindy McKitchen. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. May I get another motion to accept the consent agenda? Cindy, moved by Larry Scott. With that said, we have question number 19I, Mr. Terrence Hurd, Student Leadership Network College Bound Initiative.
Yes, thank you, Board President. Just pulled it up. I have a question about 19I. It's the College Bound Initiative, And it's a substantial amount that's being asked for, $380,354. And this is the second year, I believe, that's in its existence, but I haven't seen or heard any of the data from the first year.
Okay, so the Student Leadership Network is in several of our high schools. They actually start in September working with grade 12 students. They make sure they have their college application essays, select schools. They help with financial aid. It's a year-long program. And the goal is for every senior to apply to at least 3 colleges. And once they're accepted, at the end of the school year, they celebrate. I actually can send you pictures from McKinley's celebration where the students all wore the college gear of their chosen college, t-shirts, sweatshirts, whatever, and they celebrated in the cafeteria. It is an expensive program because they do bring in several staff members depending on the size of the grade 12 class. So it may be 2 employees, it may be 4 employees, but hopefully, you know, you'll get to come out and visit some of the schools and see the work that they're doing.
Do you know which schools, other schools other than McKinley, that is being serviced right now?
East High School, McKinley High School, help me, Ann.
Riverside, South Park, McKinley, Burgard, International Club.
And MST.
Not yet at MST.
Okay, and there will be any time we'll be able to see the report from their success?
Well, they work with all of the seniors. So if you want to know how many seniors got accepted to college, is that the data you need?
Yes.
I can get that to you, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it.
So if I can just add, I had the opportunity to go over to East, and it was something to see. Every single senior that was there had been accepted at least to one college. They got donations of Air Jordan sneakers for every single one of the students. I also got to see it at McKinley High School. I think they had their program one evening, and you know, I'm going to say at least 90% of their graduates have been accepted into a college. So it was
Correct.
exciting to see.
I just haven't seen the data from last year, so just wanted to make sure before I put a vote onto this. Thank you.
Thank you, ASL Watson. Financial Affairs, number 24A, Internal Audit Risk Assessment Report. Jim Barnes, Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Hurd.
Just wanted to hear the report on the findings of this. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hurd, pardon?
Just want to hear the report. I know there's no money values that's added onto this document, but I just want to, if you can send us a report on your audit, just so we can have a brief look over when you get opportunity.
Oh, sure. Just so you know, so this is our internal auditors from Dressler and Malecki. They look at certain areas of our financial and procedural operations. These are their findings. The most important document will be to come, where we submit a corrective action plan for any and all findings in there. So I will share that with you and present to the board if you'd like at that time.
Thank you.
Mr. Barnes, yes, I would like to use the Finance and Ops to review the corrective action plan. I would also like to see what was outstanding from last year that did not move forward. Just so happened that on my desk, I had the audit from last year, similar audit. It was done in June of last year. And so I think it's the Finance and Ops Committee is the perfect place to move that forward, to make sure that we're moving forward. And from what I read, there are some policies and recommendations that need to be made for the board, to the board in regards to that. According to what I read, I would expect that the chair of the Finance and Ops would initiate those policies so that we can make sure that we're in compliance. Thank you.
Sure. Mrs. Woods, I'll be in touch with you in a couple weeks, okay?
any other questions or concerns? If not, Mr. Kuzman, Attorney Kuzman, can you please poll the board?
Thank you, Board President Cotman. On the consent agenda, how do you vote, Dr. Evans-Brown? Mr. Hurd?
Yes, I have exception on 9A, number 18. It's a relative.
Is that an exception or a recusal, Mr. Hurd?
I'd like to recuse myself.
Okay. Recusal, not an exception.
I'm sorry, recusal on 9A, number 18. Recusal on 17A and 19A, affiliation.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McEachen?
No exception.
And other than that, Mr. Hurd, just for clarity, you had no exceptions on anything else? Okay, thank you. Ms. McCosey? Dr. Rivera?
No exceptions.
Mrs. Shuda?
12A, recusal for affiliation.
Mr. Scott?
No exception.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No exceptions.
Ms. Woods?
No exceptions.
President Belton Cotman?
No exceptions.
Okay, thank you. Consent agenda passes.
Thank you. Now is the time for our committee reports. Does anyone have any committee reports to share with us today? Thank you, Board Member Ann Revere.
Hopefully this works. Here we go. I'd like to report on the ongoing progress regarding the Special Education Review Committee. Dr. Williams has graciously created a meeting in August for us to review two previous documents, two previous reviews in special education. Ms. Botticelli and Ms. Holscher will be there as well. I'm creating a memorandum of what's happened so far to date so we can know what's been done, what's been already complete, what's still outstanding, and then we're going to move forward with conversations about how to engage the community of parents and caregivers and students with special needs and what their needs are so that we can pull all of the information together and move forward, not only with what special education, what we're required to do through New York State, but what we need to do to care for our community.
Thank you, Board Member Revere. Any additional committee reports? Thank you. Okay, we're at the unfinished business part of our meeting. Today, as we stated earlier, that the board went into executive session to discuss the superintendent's 2022-2023 performance evaluation. At this time, may I have a motion approving the superintendent's 2022-2023 performance evaluation? I see Mr. Hurd and second by Jennifer McCousey. This is the time that we can open up for conversation or comments. Dr. Kathy Evans-Brown, you spearheaded this as your duties as Vice President of Executive Affairs. Would you like to start the conversation?
Certainly. Okay, so this year, for the first time, we used the Super Eval. It's an electronic evaluation system where the superintendent review her goals and competencies, and then she does a self-evaluation. And at that point, the board, the 9 members here, look at and review her comments with her evidence, because she uploads evidence of, for example, it could be pictures, it could be DIBELS information about young people at various schools, how there were this year, this past school year, there were slight gains. More work needs to be done, but we'll take the slight gains. Whether it's CLRI information, community-based partnership information, which is new, with the compendium that Dr. Reynolds oversees, and so on. And so Dr. Williams did that self-evaluation with uploading evidence to support her effectiveness and/or highly effective areas. Step 3, the board, the 9 of us, went in, assessed and reviewed what Dr. Williams, submitted, and then we had an opportunity to comment and provide feedback on each goal. That's complete. And so we had an opportunity earlier to talk among ourselves and then brought Dr. Williams in. So that's where we are. I think the super eval is effective. It is being used across this country, actually. I know Williamsville use it and some other school districts use it as well. We are using it this year and we'll, look at using it moving forward.
Are there any other discussions?
I just want to commend the superintendent for her transparency, her outreach to this community, for the tasks she has tackled and the significant difference she has made in this Buffalo public school system. I give her highest vote of confidence. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. Any additional comments? I'd just like to say it's been a privilege working with the superintendent this year. And as a result, the culture within the district has changed significantly. There is a bright light in our district that has not shined for a long time. We are all encouraged. We are looking forward to the new changes that will be going on within the board's management and handling of district data under the guidance of the Council of Great City Schools. We're looking forward to working with the superintendent. She is a very bright beacon for our city, and we were long overdue. And I just like to say this is what happens when we boost Buffalo. It's good for you, and she has been good for us. Thank you. Are you fine? You want to say something?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Board President. I'd just like to say that I'm very impressed with the superintendent goals with 5 by 25. And as we read through those, if you haven't had time to read through them, go to the Buffalo Public School website and take a look at her goals and how we're moving forward as a district. And together with the district, with the superintendent and her leadership, I believe we're going to exceed every one of those goals. So thank you for the work and the hours that you put in. It's really commendable, and also a great staff that you have put together that you're working with. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Any other? Board member, who do we have first? Jen, and, okay.
I just wanted to, echo what everyone else was saying, but I really want to commend how we came about this super eval, this system, this process. In the last 6 years, I've never been more clear. I've never felt like I've been able to say what I wanted to say. Everything was just check a box before. This is very detailed. It gave opportunity to really speak truth to the answers that are given. It wasn't just a rating system. So I just appreciate and hope we carry out with this system moving forward. And I'm kind of really proud of this board. Like, I don't know if I've ever said that before, but this is really, we've really been doing great work, and I think that this evaluation piece, even though this is about the superintendent, we had to come together as a board, and, you know, nothing is perfect, but this was way better than I've seen in 6 years.
Thank you. Mr. Scott, Board Member Scott.
Thank you, President Peloncama. So I just want to kind of say that Dr. Williams came on as superintendent at a very tough, challenging, dark time for some of us as board members, as parents, as staff members, as students. And I think in just a year, Dr. Williams and her team have changed that outlook, have changed the trajectory of Buffalo Public Schools. And one of the things early on as a board member when I began was I always felt that we needed to communicate better, communicate more with the community, with our parents, with our staff, be more accessible. And Dr. Williams has met that expectation and exceeded it in many ways. She's out in our schools. She's talking, engaging with students in circles, talking with the community in the churches, talking to community leaders. And I think it makes an incredible difference when you have a leader that's out there engaging so many folks, because the challenges that we face are multifaceted, and we need good partnerships, multiple resources to address those challenges. There's a lot of work in front of us, and I'm confident that Dr. Williams is ready to take on those challenges moving forward.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Revere.
Just one more. So I just want to add to this what we all know. Dr. Williams is a very engaged, very dedicated, and very effective leader. And her strategy for the district has been thoughtful and engaged with who BPS is, a part of who the district has been, where the district needs to go, but she sees it as a through line. And I really appreciate that about her. She is not coming out and saying, you have to do it this way. She started with listening to what members of the BPS community, all members, including students and staff, teachers, parents, caregivers, community members, business leaders, government officials, and use that to shape a strategy. And that's not only unusual, it's particularly effective to create change. And I really look forward to continuing to watch her make that kind of change and be a partner in it with her.
Give it up. That's right. She deserves it. Thank you. Dr. Brown?
Okay, so I didn't get an opportunity to put my 2 cents in. But from my experience, Dr. Williams has just finished her first year as superintendent. One thing I noticed about her, she respects the community. She respects the leaders. That didn't happen here in this district. And I think, you know, with her respect for the community, she knows the community, she's been around the community, she's lived in the community, she's had education here, etc. That's what makes the difference. She's a wealth of fresh air in this community, and I always said she was the best fit, you know, for this job. So we support her. We're looking now at accountability. The first year was tough, as many of my colleagues said. Dr. Williams had to clean up a lot of stuff. And still cleaning it up. But we can see the inroads that have been made. It takes time for change. Change is good. She come from the cabinet to the superintendent. That's a tough job in itself, because you're you know, at an equal level with your cabinet. Now you know, are at a higher ranking, and it's a different animal. But she's up for the task. She has our support, and will continue to have our support. So we're looking for, you know, gains in many areas. So stay tuned. Thank you, Dr. Williams.
All right. Without further ado, I'd like a roll call vote for this, Nate. I really would. I want the public and particularly the staff to know that this board is united and we stand with this superintendent. And if you got a problem with her, you got a problem with us. So if you're not in sync, you better get in sync, okay? Because to whom much is given, much is required. Remember that. Thank you.
On the motion approving the 22-23 performance evaluation of the superintendent, how do you vote, Dr. Evans-Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd? Yes. Ms. McEachen? Ms. McCosey? Dr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mrs. Shuda? Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Woods? And President Belton Cotman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Dr. Williams, do you have anything to say?
I do. First, I want to thank the board members for your kind words. I really appreciate it, and I certainly appreciate all of the support that you all have given to me over this last year and some months between the interim and being named as the permanent superintendent for the school district. But I really have to say that the words that you shared with me about the work that's happening is really more about the folks that are sitting out in the audience and this cabinet. You know, I was a member of the cabinet for some years, so I know the hard work, and sometimes, you know, it's not seen, and sometimes it may feel underappreciated, but I think tonight is a testimony that certainly all of your work, all of your hard work, because my work is your work, and so all of your hard work is appreciated. We still have our DPCC president here. You know, the work of the parents, We have Ina Ferguson, who is also here. We partner, we work together, and I do believe that the 5 by 2025 that we all participated in developing, not just the school district, but it's a community-inspired strategic plan, are goals that are attainable for all of our children. I really believe that. I'm raring to go. You know, tomorrow starts a new day, and I am raring to go. We have had so many gains over this last year, not as, you know, large as I would like, but certainly we have had gains in reading, in mathematics. We have been able to, in 1 year, negotiate all of our collective bargaining contracts. We've ended our retiree health care insurance. That's a game changer. That's huge. We've implemented the 3-bell schedule. You know, I could go on and on and on. We've got our Evolve scanners. We've got an RFPQ process. We've initiated 3Y programming, and we're expanding that. You know, it's unfortunate when terrible things happen to our children and families, but now we have a reach out program. And so when something happens, you know, we reach out. We go to the families when things are happening, even when there are births. You know, we acknowledge the births because those babies are future BPS children. We've seen a decrease in suspensions. We're working hard with our teacher aides and assistants. Our parents are now getting notifications of where their children will be enrolled and registered much earlier than has happened in the past. We're seeing increases in the children of color who have been accepted into our gifted and talented programs. You know, I could again go on and on and on and on, but I just want to say thank you to the board for the support, for the confidence. Sometimes those words do help to keep you uplifted because, you know, the job is a difficult job. It's a difficult job. But with the team that I have, I'm confident that we will reach our 5 by 2025. And I just want to thank our cabinet members and our parents, our principals, directors, assistant principals, cafeteria workers, teacher aides, security, clerical, nurses. I know I'm going to forget someone, but it takes all of us, all of us. So thank you all. It's been a good year.
message is clear. Buffalo is on the move. We've got a leader that's moving us, and the board is united, and we are about to see some great things in this district like never before. I believe that. We believe it. So when you see that finger that one goes up, trust me, it's in the making. We're going to do that. So, board members, I wanted to just say to Nate and staff, New York State School Board Association next week is having legal seminars, virtual on the 24th and 25th. I think we need to take a look and make sure that we have people that are involved in that so that we can stay on top of what's going on in the state. I intend on, originally I was going to go to Albany and stay the whole week for the whole duration. I'm just going to go down for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion part of New York State School Boards Association, and I'm going to be returning that Friday. And so I feel that Buffalo, the second largest school district, deserves to be represented at any event of that magnitude where people come from all over the state to participate. We have to make sure our presence is known. One of the things I just want to share is that a conversation I had, board, with staff this week, it was a simple conversation. It said that we are the second largest school district in the state. And when resources are brought to us, or if we're in the process of moving things to the next level, that we have to be flexible enough to make it happen and be bold enough to demand that it happens. And if that means that we have to get the New York State Department of Education online or talk to the commissioner about new programs that Buffalo wants to put in place, that no is not an option, okay? Because if they're doing it out west, if they're doing it in Salamanca, if they're doing it wherever they're doing it, and someone wants to provide us with resources, that we're gonna be at the table. And we wanna be a part of the greatness that's gonna happen. Under this leader, we can do things like that. So I just wanted to share that with the board, that people bring to us all the time great ideas. What I'm asking for all of us to do when a great idea comes is that the superintendent gets involved in it. No more working in silos. It's my ideal, I'm gonna roll it out. Let's get, not just from the board, but also for the staff in this district, great ideas need to come to the superintendent. She needs to be the one that's moving them to the next level. That's how we'll make sure that things happen. And I'm really excited about some of the things. So as far as your committees are concerned, we'll be talking about what work you're gonna be doing over the summer. I hope everybody has a project that they're working on, because in order to make this work happen, Dr. Caresses is going to let us know an update on the Council of Great City Schools and our next steps with them, and we'll be working and moving forward. So, yes, Jennifer. Sure, go ahead.
So look forward to the 3rd annual backpack giveaway. That'll be going down on September 2nd on Saturday. We'll be looking for donations. We've given away 500 and 750 backpacks. Now we're looking at almost 1,000. It's a partnership with BPTO, myself, and Healthcare Education Project. These book bags are not just like some folks give away book bags that are literally just that, a book bag. Each book bag contains two composition books, 2 notebooks, folders, pencils, erasers, rulers, tissue, hand sanitizer, all of that. So look forward to a big event. If you're looking to table, bring your information. We'll be at School 19. Trying to kind of stay within the West District just because I'm that representative, but everybody and anybody is welcome. So look forward to the announcements, and anybody who you know that I know, I'll be looking to get donations. So it's September 2nd, it's a Saturday from 12 to 3 at School 19. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Just in case if the public wants to know, tomorrow the information in regards to the superintendent's evaluation will be posted on the website. Without further ado, we're going to do our bereavements, and then we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
These are the bereavements. Gabriella Sophia Hall, daughter of Lauren Hall, a security officer at MST School, number 197. June 27th, Marcus Hall, brother of Lauren Hall, a security officer at MST School number 197. June 27th, Earl Scott, a security officer at City Honors School number 195. June 27th, Barbara Flowers, a longtime substitute teacher, mother of Ebony Flowers, a teaching assistant with the BPS. June 30th, Donzel Rudd Tyree, sister of David Maccabees, a security officer with the BPS. June 30th, Lauren Davis, beloved friend to all in City Hall laborer, former cook, and Sue's Deli. July 7th, Miracle Hunt, a 7th grade student in BPS at School 59. July 16th, Tricia Hiller, sister of Jim Bugard, first-class engineer at Waterfront. May we bow our heads in silence. Thank you. May I have a motion to adjourn? Cindy and Jennifer, thank you. Hope you enjoy your summer. Thank you.